Alright, welcome back to another video on how to become a business consulting freelancer. And I'm going to make a quick recap of this last model, the fourth model, on how to conduct a research and gather quality data. And it's important to recognize that data is something very powerful because it can help you to influence others, persuade them, reinforce your point of view, but also can be misleading. Because of that, especially when you're conducting a research for a consulting project, identify the most to the least valuable source, and that is data that comes from the company. First, they usually make you to sign an NDA agreement. Once you do that, well, you can see what they have done in the past, how they have been performing, and use that to provide your consultation and your suggestions. Another source of data is the secondary party data. This comes from trust sources, which they have proven record of research report, peer review. They're not anonymous. You may or not, depending on the use case, have to pay for that. And then you have is the least valuable data, which comes from aggregate sources. Okay, this is data that you can check who the author really is. Okay, and then once you know that, from a broad perspective, how to conduct a research by first play devil advocate with yourself, meaning see things from different perspectives because things are not always black and white. Gather relevant data, very, very important. You say that easily, but it's actually, in fact, not that easy, right? Especially if your mind is scattered or wandering in different directions. So, with that, okay, then keep notes and records of every source you obtained, and then you check the quality of those sources, right? And don't forget to circle back with the client. Then I look at guidelines that Paul Mendes, the Zero to Mastery instructor, made, especially when he's conducting a research from this marketing Google's, using the Google marketing. So he looked at the website, understand what they offer, very, very important. Okay, not only for the marketing, but also as a developer. Okay, so you understand what they offer, you know all their product and service, how much they charge, and then you go into the specific about all their categories, the company review, what they have done in the past. And once you do this, if you can have access to that, then you jump to the first party data, which look at what they have done in the past, how they have been performing, and see how you can use your suggestions or recommendations, how you can deliver that. And then once you do this research about the brands, the product, service, what they offer, how much they charge, then you look at the competitor analysis to see who the other players in that industry are, what you can learn from them, and take notes and keyword about that. Because now you can use all of those keywords in these keyword research tools out there from Google, Amazon's, or free keyword tools, to know and to get a clear idea of what's going on in that industry. And that is something very, very important, especially for knowledge workers. And if you're going to provide a service, you need to know that in advance. So not only uh, what they have done in this company in the past, how they have been performance, and also see who the other competitors are in that industry, what you can learn from them, but also know where this industry is going. So what is uh, understand from a broad perspective, okay, where this industry is going, and to get a clear idea of what's going on in that industry, okay, and to know where this industry is going. That's when you after that make a research on top of your keyword research to get the latest update from the news, from the world news, and understand and decide, okay, everything that I have researched, from all the things that I have researched, what is most likely to work today. And that includes is see how this industry is adapting to regulations and where this industry is going. So I made a quick practice, especially because I want to conduct a POC, proof of concept, with a bunch of technology, uh, Vue, Nux, Stripe, GraphQL, Docker, and then launch that to Amazon EC2. But the whole point of this is that recognize is the several concepts before creating this small POC e-commerce, right? Concept like e-commerce, okay? So according to them, and also here is where I conduct a research, by the way, the competitor analysis, because in there I look at what are the other competitors, but let's go to start from the beginning here, okay? So yes, I ask myself, okay, what is an e-commerce? So according to Amazon, it's a trade in goods and service uh, on the internet. So it is your bustling city center or your brick and mortar shops convert into zeros and one on the internet superhighway, on the internet superhighway. I miss that because I don't know how. On the internet superhighway, but it's like that. On the internet superhighway, it's the noun and the adjective. On the internet superhighway, and Shopify mentioned that yes, okay, while e-business refers to operating all aspects of the online business, and the specific and business activity is, from Investopedia, activities that a company is engaged with the sole purpose to earn a profit. And there are three main business activity, whether it is operations, financing, and investing. Okay, and if you want to know where are the specific of this business activity, which is part of operating all aspects of an online business, whether it's marketing, sales, accounting, human research, management process, okay, so management, operations, IT, customer service, and R&D, research and development. So yeah, so operating an online business refers all of these business activities, how you manage them, but the e-commerce specifically refers to the transaction of good and service on the internet. And this is something very, very important to know this particular use case. So here's where I conducted research about, okay, so what is the several ways of doing this trade? Okay, so I find out that there are several actors involved in this trade, such as the government, business, and consumers. So the most commonly business model is the business to consumer, okay, such as online retailers, digital platform, or yeah, online retailers, market, the online, yeah, online platforms or online marketplace, subscription service. So let me mention the example as well. So you have is the yeah you have is the on the business to consumers, you have is online retailers like Amazon, Target, or Walmart, digital marketplace like Etsy, eBay, subscription service like Netflix or Spotify, online travel and booking like Expedia, Booking.com, and Airbnb, and ordering food and delivery such as Uber Eats, Grubhub, and DoorDash, especially on the US. Another way of how you can trade is from business to business, where now here is a online marketplace like Amazon Business, Alibaba, eBay Business, EDI, Electronic Data Interchange, which paperwork that were traditionally made on paper, like payroll or uh, yeah, like payroll or in or purchase order. Now it is done electronically to securely exchange uh, across company or within your own company. EBM provide that. Another example is set online supplier portals like SAP Arrival Networks or Walmart Supply Center. The whole point of this is to streamline their procurement process and supply chain. Also, you have is wholesale e-commerce like Grainger or Uline, and business to business payment solution like Stripe or PayPal. When it comes to the business to the consumer to business, okay, so now they offer service to business. Here you have is the freelance work, which is the vast majority of uh, or the most common business model, okay, across this relationship between the consumers and the business. So freelance work, okay, so they can offer service consumers for any specific business activity, whether it's marketing, sales, accounting, human research, management process, IT, customer service, or research and development in platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, or freelance. So most of the time it is graphic design, web development, freelance writing. Another example is uh, survey online survey such as Monkey Survey, where now consumers can participate to on prepaid service or on pay service for marketing research, generated user content where now consumers sell the detailed media to business, crowdfunding, consumers wants to raise funds for their own ideas and projects, and reverse auction, where now consumers put a quota on a product that a business offer, right? Such as like a Priceline on Priceline website. Okay, then I look at the another relationship where now with the government to business. Here you have public procurement portals, okay, like the FBO, the Federal Business Opportunity, or the UK Contract Finder and Server. The first is from the US. Tax payment and filing, or tax filing and payment, uh, such as the Electronic Federal Tax Payment System. The Electronic Federal is the EFTPS in the US, or the HM Custom and Revenue Service in the UK. Permits and licensing, where now uh, business can apply for food service or building permits, international trade and custom clearance. So government agency provides service to government so to facilitate allegedly the cross-border or this the cross-border trade like electronic custom clearance or export declarations and business registration. So like the US on the US has the SBA, the Small Business Administration, or the Company House in the UK. And now when it comes to the government to consumers, okay, they provide online portal. So now citizens can pay their taxes for one of the payment options the government provides, like the IRS on the US, the Internal Revenue Service, or the HM Custom and Revenue on the UK. Another example is vehicle licensing and registration. So the DMV California US is the Department Motor Vehicle, okay, or the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency on the UK. Passport applications and renewal, so citizens can apply for a new or renew their own passport, like the US Department of State Passport Service or the UK Government General Official General Register Office, which is this. The come on, General Register Office. Let me see if I can find this acronym. Yeah, the General Register Office. Okay. Payment utility bills such as water, electricity, property taxes, and other government fees, and ordering birth and death certificates in platforms like the UK General, I think it's the same, yeah, UK General Register Office, or the US National Center for Health Statistics. And that website is very, very interesting. Uh, the national, the US National Center for Health Statistics. This is a very interesting website that I know barely. There are a few people that actually know that exists. Okay, yeah, it is data from the government, blah 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 blah, but it can give you at least an insight of how healthy is the population in the US. All right, and if you live in the US, well, you can get an idea of that. So, in other words, in any case, Then I look at the relationship now with customers to government, okay? And that is online donations, where now consumers can donate to government agencies or organizations, such as the organization relief or disaster relief organizations like the American Red Cross, or uh, the UNICEF, which stands for United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund. Okay. Also, permits and licensing, where now citizens can apply uh, to hunting permits or fishing licensing on government websites. Payment of government fees and fines like traffic tickets or parking tickets or other liabilities, like, for example, lawsuit fees or fines. Online petitions. This is something to me like ideal. It's like eh, I don't think I don't see there is a huge impact, but at least can raise a voice on certain topics, right? Because the whole point of this is to sign an online petition to government to influence their decision or to influence government policies. So okay, and then with all of that, okay, and then after that I saw, well, what is the uh, yeah, what is the several, what do you call, so where you can do these yeah, where does e-commerce takes place, and that is on mobile e-commerce, enterprise, or social media. This is the place where this is where uh, e-commerce takes place. Mobile applications right now, right? Mobile applications, enterprise, and social media. Okay, and then I look at comparator analysis. At least just to mention uh, what are the other players in that industry, because it's Amazon, Alibaba, Shopify, IKEA, Walmart, and eBay. And this has come from Indeed, right? Indeed.com. And a couple of keyword research so you can see where this industry is going. Okay, so you can see, you can get a clear idea of what's going on in that industry, especially here. What's going on in that industry with this keyword research. So you have, for example, e-commerce is hugely with Shopify website, Shopify website design, Amazon, online shopping, Kindle, Alexa, and Fire Stick, gift cards with Alibaba, kind of the same. Alibaba products. Shopify is more like for store, themes, website, and point of sales, POS. And then you got eBay, where they give with once I performed this keyword research from this tool from Wall Street, you got is eBay gift card, eBay coins. There are people selling coins to get some silver from that or to scam people as well. eBay shoes and eBay book. So great, great. Now I'm going to look at how to create effective and appealing consumer report.
Welcome to the next lesson. Now that you have the research stage done of the project, you've done your
Okay. Ah, you got it. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. And how to create an effective and appealing consumer report. So now that you have researched, yeah, now that you have the research done, okay, in my case with the e-commerce, so now that you have the research done on your first and second, and you possibly, okay, so now that you have research, now you have the research done on your first, second, and possibly third party data. Now it is the time to how visualize your finding into visual appealing consulting projects. Very, very important. So now that you conduct this research, it is time to know how to visualize your finding into visually appealing consulting reports. So this is a report that you're going to present on live with a client, and it will make you really, and it will make you really visually. Okay, this is a report you're going to present on live with a client, and it will make you really visually understand what you're talking about. Very, very important. I just want the client, hey, visually understand what I'm talking, because people oftentimes, yeah, because people oftentimes are visual learners. They process things better, and that is where they allow you to stand up in the business. Very important, this introduction here. So once you conduct the research, you look at the first, second, and possible third party data. Now it is time to know how to visualize your findings into visually appealing consulting projects. Exactly. So that's the reason what I'm gonna do here. Okay. So I just want to know how to visualize my finding in a visually appealing consulting report. And this is a report you're going to present live with a client, please. Because now this will raise my value to the client. And by raising my value, also my price. Okay, so this is a report that you're going to present online with a client, and it will make you really visually understand what you're talking about. So, a couple points here. This is a report that I'm going to share online with the client to show them visually what I'm talking about. So because people oftentimes are visual learners and they process things better, that is where they allow you to stand. Because oftentimes people are visual learners and they process things better, and that is where they allow you to stand up in the business. Okay? And here you're also including some of the psychological aspect of that, or again, the statistical here, where most of the vast majority of people are visual learners, and you can use that to present your findings in a way that is visually engaging and stand up in your business. That's right. stand out in your business.
First-party data, your second-party data, and possibly gathered your third-party data. Now it's time to start planning on how you're going to visualize your findings into a visually appealing consulting report. Now, this is a report that you are going to present live to the client, and it's really going to help them visually understand everything that you're talking about, because people oftentimes are visual learners. They process things better, not only just on a call when they hear it, but when you...
Exactly. Not only on a call when they hear it,
putting things into a report, and it also goes above and beyond. People oftentimes are visual learners. They process things better, not only just on a call when they hear it, but when you put things into a report, and it...
But when you put things in a report,
also goes above and beyond, especially when you don't kill learners. They process things better, not only just on a call when they hear it, but when you put things into a report, and it also goes above and beyond, especially when you don't kill them with a death by PowerPoint and just have a bunch of words on the screen, hear it, but when you put things into a report, and it also goes above and beyond, especially when you don't kill them with a death by PowerPoint.
And also, it goes above
things better, not only just on a call when they hear it, but when you put things into a report, and it also goes above and beyond.
And it also goes above and beyond.
Especially when you don't kill them with a death.
Especially when you don't kill them
by PowerPoint and just have a bunch of words on the screen and they hear it, but when you put things into a report, and it also goes above and beyond, especially when you don't kill them with a death by PowerPoint, and just
especially when you don't kill them with the death of PowerPoint.
just have a bunch of words on the screen, but you're performing visual,
which has a lot of words on the screen completely.
visually engaging presentations, and that is going to help you stand out.
But you are also using visually engaging presentations.
And earn repeat business. PowerPoint and just have a bunch of words on the screen, but you're performing visually engaging presentations.
But you are performing also visually engaging presentations.
And that is going to help you stand out and earn repeat business.
And that's where they're gonna stand. And that's where they allow you to stand up in your business. Yeah.
The first step is to analyze your research and your notes. Now you need to...
The first step by step. Analyze your note and research. Analyze your research. Analyze your research and notes.
Analyze your research and your notes, because reporting is very powerful when it is done the right way. Now, if you just do a simple report and you don't make sure that you put a lot of time into it, the client is really going to understand.
Reporting reporting is a very powerful
powerful when it is done the
Reporting is very powerful when it's done correctly.
right way. Now, if
But when it's done the right way.
you just do a simple report and you don't make sure that you put a lot of time into it, the client is really going to understand that very quickly. And it really, even if you did the research fully and you have good suggestions, if your report is just too simple and it doesn't go into what it needs to, you may turn the client away and they may not want to work with you further because they don't think you put enough time into the presentation. So it's very important to use data points to draw conclusions and make multiple recommendations as a consultant to solve the problem that they need solved. So you should precisely know how you're going to use the data that you've gathered before you create your report.
You just need to know
Consultant to solve the problem that they need solved. So you should precisely know how you're going to use the data.
So you
That you've and make multiple recommendations as a consultant to solve the problem that they need solved. So you should precisely know how you're
exactly you should precisely know
going to use the data that you've got and make multiple recommendations as a consultant to solve the problem that they need solved. So you should precisely know how you're going to use the data that
So you should precisely know how to use the data
you've gathered before you create your report.
that you had gathered before create your report.
Taking this bird's eye view is going to help you visualize the beginning, the middle, and the end of your report and your presentation. What you want to do is put
Reporting is a very powerful when it's done. When it is done the right way, you should precisely know how to use the data that you gather before creating your report.
the most valuable data first. Longer reports are fine as long as all of the data that is the most valuable is included.
Okay. Most valuable data first.
In the beginning, because you don't want the client to start to forget about what the most important thing was. That's why you need to open with it. Don't just end.
So you don't want the client forget about the important
With
thing.
it is included in the beginning because you don't want the client to start to forget about what the most important thing was.
You don't want the client to forget what was the most important thing.
That's because all of the data that is the most valuable is included in the beginning because you don't want the client to start to forget about what the most important thing was. That's why.
So you don't want the client to forget about what was the most important. So you don't get the client to forget the most important. You don't want the client to forget about the most important thing.
You need to open data that is the most valuable is included in the beginning because you don't want the client to start to forget about.
Because you don't want the client to start to forget
What the most important.
what the most important thing was.
That's why you need to open with it. Don't just end with it real quick. You need to make sure you put the most impactful data first so your audience can make sure.
So you need to put the most impactful data first,
that they understand what the report is really revolving around. And with it real quick, you need to make sure you put the most impactful data first so your audience can make sure
so your audience
that they understand. Thing was, that's why you need to open with it. Don't just end with it real quick. You need to make sure you put the most, because you don't want the client to start to forget about what the most important thing was. That's why you need to open with it. Don't just end with it real quick. You need to make sure you put the most impactful data first so your audience can make sure that they understand.
So your audience can make sure
Understand what the report is really revolving around. And with it real quick, you need to make sure you put the most impactful data first so your audience can make sure that
the audience can make
they
sure
understand what the report is really. Open with it. Don't just end with it real quick. You need to make sure you put the most impactful data first so your audience can make sure that they understand what the report is really revolving.
so your audience can make sure that they are understanding what the report is about.
Around. Nobody quick. You need to make sure you put the most impactful data first so your audience can make sure that they understand what the report is really revolving around.
Okay, so you can make sure that they understanding what the report is revolving around.
Nobody wants to sit through an entire presentation just to get to the final page, which actually has all of the good stuff on it. You need to lay the groundwork first, present the most value. Nobody wants to sit through an entire presentation just to get to the final page, which actually has all of the good stuff on it. You need to lay the report is really revolving around. Nobody wants to sit through an entire presentation.
This is just an opinion, right? It's more like an opinion. So nobody wants to sit
The most impactful data first so your audience can make sure that they understand what the report is really revolving around. Nobody wants to sit through an entire presentation.
Yeah, nobody wants to sit an entire presentation
just to get to the final page, which actually has all of the good stuff on it.
Just to find out that that the last page has all the fun about it.
Understand what the report is really revolving around. Nobody wants to sit through an entire presentation just to get to the final page, which actually has all of the good stuff on it.
Just to find out that the last page has all the good stuff about
you need to what the report is really revolving around. Nobody wants to sit through an entire presentation just to get to the final page, which
just to get to the final page
actually has all of the good stuff on it.
With all the good stuff about it.
You need to lay the groundwork first, present the most valuable data, and then expand on that with visual.
You need to
just to get to the final page, which actually has all of the good stuff on it. You need to lay the groundwork first, present the most valuable. Nobody wants to sit through an entire presentation just to get to the final page, which actually has all of the good stuff on it. You need to lay the groundwork first.
You need to lay around them first. Lay around.
Revolving around. Nobody wants to sit through an entire presentation just to get to the final page, which actually has all of the good stuff on it. You need to lay the groundwork first, present the most valuable data. Nobody wants to sit through an entire presentation just to get to the final page, which actually has all of the good stuff on it. You need to lay the groundwork first.
You need to lay the ground. The aim. You need to lay the ground. Oh my God. You need to lay the ground first.
Present the most valuable. Nobody wants to sit through an entire presentation just to get to the final page, which actually has all of the good stuff on it. You need to lay the groundwork first.
You need to lay the ground
first.
You need to lay the You need to lay the ground first. Lay the ground.
Present the most valuable data and then expand on the entire presentation just to get to the final page, which actually has all of the good stuff on it. You need to lay the groundwork first, present the most valuable data.
Present the most valuable data.
And then expand on that.
And then expand on that.
With visual, reports, and different aesthetics.
with visual reports.
Stuff on it. You need to lay the groundwork first, present the most valuable data, and then expand on that with visual reports and different aesthetics.
And different statistics. And different, what?
Another thing, you need to lay the groundwork first, present the most valuable data, and then expand on that with visual reports and different aesthetics.
And different aesthetics. Aesthetics.
Another thing you can do is create templates of consulting reports when needed. So I myself have a few consulting clients that I've been working with for multiple years. And what I've been able to do is create consulting reports that I run for them either weekly or bi-weekly.
Exactly. Create templates when needed. Create templates when needed.
Weekly or monthly. And what I do there is I still gather all of the data, but now I have a template that I use all the time. So it helps me save time because for that specific client, I know where the data has to go.
Okay. It saves time to show. It saves time since I know where the data should go with each particular client.
After that, always remember that you want to visualize data into easy-to-read graphs and
Visualize data into each. Okay. Create template when needed.
because for that specific client, I know where the data has to go. After that, always remember that you want to visualize data into easy-to-read graphs and
Visualize data. Visualize. Yeah, visualize data. Visualize data into graph and charts. Visualize data into graph and charts. Into graph and charts.
Now here's an interesting fact. Did you know that humans process visual data 60,000 times faster than written data?
Where do you get this data? Did you know that human process 60%?
So illustrated data, easy to read graphs and charts. Now here's an interesting fact. Did you know that humans process visual data 60,000 times faster than written data?
Okay, did you know that human process 60,000 times
data into easy to read graphs and charts? Now here's an interesting fact. Did you know that humans process visual data 60,000 times faster than written data?
Did you know that human process 60,000 times visual data?
Into easy-to-read graphs and charts. Now here's an interesting fact. Did you know that humans process visual data 60,000 times faster than...
You know that human process visual data 60,000 times faster
than written data?
Faster than reading data? I don't know that amount, but it is
so illustrated
fast.
data such as graphs and charts, they're also more believable and they're easier to understand. And this is from a study by Cornell University. So when possible, always include visual.
Cornell University.
Graphs and charts, they're also more believable and they're easier to understand. And this is from a study by Cornell University. So when possible, illustrated data such as graphs and charts, they're also more believable and they're easier to understand. And this is from a study by Cornell University.
human process 60,000 times human process visual data faster than reading. Yeah, but who make this Paul's brain process? Yeah, but what is the source of this? ChatGPT, man. Get the fuck out of here. Cut the fluff. Cut the fluff, man. Cut the fluff. Anyway.
So when possible, always include visual data in your consulting reports, because not only does it help your report really.
So when possible, include always visual data in your reports.
Just pack a greater punch, it also helps trim down the time and the effort needed to digest.
It helps to reduce process time, to digest
your data. So by doing this, you don't have to answer as many questions after the fact if you had a confusing report. So if you make it digestible and you put all of your data into graphs and charts, it makes you that much better as a consultant. Data visualization also helps you make informed decisions and helps the clients understand. Understand how you got to those informed decisions. So data visualization, it just refers to showcasing data, numbers, and statistics through images and charts. And when you display data in a visually appealing way, it's...
So with that, that'll be all for this video. Take care. Bye-bye.